So now we get to hit our especial portion of Snap material. And that is where Evan and I are bringing to you our top 5 comic accurate Snap combos. Is that right? Or do you have a better title? Hit us with a better title.
No. The best comic accurate combos.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that works.
The goal of this, go ahead and tell them what the goal of this was.
Well,
Again.
we kind of went back and forth on it. It's a combination. It's not only the most comic accurate combos, but the ones that work the best.
Right.
So, it's not just, well, hey, if Jean Grey was in the game, Cyclops and Jean Grey, that's comic accurate. It's ones that have to be effective.
I'm really curious if we're going to have any overlap. Because Evan and I haven't talked about what we're going to pick out there.
Yeah, I honestly wasn't sure when we decided on this if I was going to come up with 5. I only have 5, but we'll see if you get any of the others. But when we finish up, I might say who didn't quite make the cut for me.
Okay, all right, yeah. If you gotta,
because they do work together, but they're not super effective.
Honorable,
but
mention.
They're not complete. Yeah, they're not completely foreign to each other.
Yeah.
Either. I mean, like Iron Man and Hulkbuster make sense thematically, and they do kind of work together, but
right,
yeah, it wouldn't be one of the best ones to me. So
all right,
it's like Morbius and MODOK, but it makes sense.
Okay, I'm gonna start out here because, like I said, I think my first one here. It's when you're struggling to put a list together. I wanted to find something to try and knock this off there, just so I could keep some credibility. But I was like, I cannot find something else. So here's what I chose. Are you ready, Evan Bevins?
I'm ready.
Number 5, Jessica Jones and Loneliness. So okay.
She does tend to drive people away.
And she's quite good at it. Jessica Jones' power in the Marvel Snap card is that, if nobody else is there, if nobody else has played on that location after she is put there, I think she doubles her power. Is it double?
4. And her power happens to be 4, but if she was boosted, it would still only go up 4.
Up 4. Got it. Yeah. So she goes up 4 to an 8. But yeah, that's only if you can lay her down on that lane and nobody else has played afterwards. So there you go. Jessica Jones and Loneliness. It's number 5.
And I guess by the same token, Hawkeye gets a bonus as long as you play anybody after him. So, well, of course that's not quite fair because Pepper Potts does the same thing, and I think she has higher standards than Hawkeye. But anyway, my number 5 is Blade and Ghost Rider. First of all, they go together thematically from the Midnight Suns, and if you have the new Ghost Rider, Robbie Reyes, he and Blade are on the Avengers together.
Okay.
So that works, and then Blade's effect, he discards a card. Ghost Rider brings back a discarded card.
That's right.
Now, every discard piece card, the one that really works best with them is Lady Sif. Doesn't work well with any other Asgardians that I can think of.
Correct.
But Blade and Ghost Rider work thematically from the comics in 2 different contexts, Midnight Suns and Avengers, and Blade's power ability feeds Ghost Riders. And on the Midnight Suns, you could even throw in Morbius for a bonus, because when Blade eliminates somebody, Morbius gets +2 power.
All right, my next one, number 4 for me. These 2 have actually fought in the comics. And there is a bit of a combo that happens in the game when Wolverine is laid down there and Carnage shows up and chops them all to pieces. Guess what? Wolverine's going to come back. And if you check out 2009's X-Men and Spider-Man number 3, you will see Wolverine versus Carnage. Wolverine takes a stab at him, and at this point he has his bony claws. He doesn't have the adamantium, but he takes a stab at him. Carnage then chews his claws off, bites his claws off. All right.
That's delightful.
The fight continues. The next panel you see as Wolverine and Carnage continue to fight, the claws have grown back. And I'm going to say, as comic accurate as I guess I can make this, Wolverine gets chopped up by Carnage in the game, but lo and behold, he comes right back. There you go. That's my number 4 comic accurate combo on my list. What's yours?
Now, you could also throw Deadpool in there. In the current Deadpool series, a villain implanted him with the Carnage symbiote.
Oh, really?
and it's literally ripping him to shreds in the
Oh
first
my
two
goodness.
issues.
We do
So-
have, and I forgot, as far as snap material / source material accurate, Justin Thomas and myself and Jason Teasley, we looked at a whole series, Deadpool versus Carnage.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one. So
Yeah.
okay, my number 4, an established duo in the comics who have literally shared a title, and they were one of the first I noticed that, hey, they actually do work well together.
This is going to be my number 2, I bet.
Okay, well, we can put a pin in it till then. Cloak and Dagger.
That is exactly what my number 2 is. So
Okay,
yeah.
we'll wait to jump up to your number 2 then.
All right, sounds good. Number 3 for me. I have down here now. This was almost like, do I make this a stretch? Because as comic accuracy goes versus what happens in Snap when it comes to the abilities, there's a stretch sometimes to kind of get that past. So I'm going to go with Rogue and Mystique.
Okay.
All right. So Rogue's ability is to steal, just like she does in the comics. She kisses somebody or kisses. I don't know why I landed on kisses.
That's always how Rogue's power is portrayed.
Right. So if she touches somebody.
Her big super move in Marvel vs. Capcom.
Oh my goodness, it's been a while. What does she do? I assume she grabs him.
She pulls him up in the air and does a great big smooch.
If she touches another superpowered being, she will absorb that power. Well, in the game, you can steal an ongoing ability from your opponent and take that ability. Now, Mystique in the comics, I had to do a little reading on this because I was fuzzy on it. Just wanted to make sure. But Mystique adopted Rogue at one point. So, and she trained her, I assume brought her into the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. That's where everything started. Now, Mystique in the comics can shapeshift. That's mainly what she can do. Now, in Snap, she can also copy and mimic an ongoing power. So I was like, okay, well, Rogue steals it. Mystique. I haven't tried this. Have you tried this combo in there?
I haven't, but it will be a good one.
It would probably work. You would assume where it would, if you play Mystique after that, it should copy Rogue's ongoing power that she stole. There you go. Definitely related in the comics, and it makes sense that their powers would kind of work like that. I don't recall Mystique, and I don't think it listed that she could steal their powers.
No.
She could definitely look like them. So I think there's an argument to be had that I'll put that in there as a comic accurate combo because they are both sort of doing what they're known for doing in Snap. So there you go. There's my number 3.
Okay. Now my number 3, another duo that has shared a title.
Okay.
And was the first one, when I was first starting out in the game that I was like, oh, okay, well, it makes sense that these guys work together. Rarely are they seen not in a deck together, or at least in my experience. Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur.
Ah, yes. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
You can use Devil Dinosaur without Moon Girl. There are other cards that will add cards to your hand, but I guess Nick Fury is the only one with the potential to add as many as Moon Girl can.
Yeah, about. Yeah.
Yeah, and Moon Girl, if you play your cards right, can give you 2 Devil Dinosaurs to play.
That's right.
She was one of the earliest ones to add cards. I mean, I don't remember exactly when they debuted, but that was one of the first ones I remember. It seems like I started seeing Coulson and Maria Hill and Nick Fury later.
Okay.
But kudos to them for, I didn't even think about that, but keeping all the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents consistent. And Agent 13, that would have been an honorable mention on this list.
That's true. Because
most of the S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, except Quake, follow in that pattern. So that's pretty good. But if we're talking about specific combos, I give the ones we've listed an edge there. So we already know who your number 2 is.
Yeah. It's my number 2. Cloak and Dagger. I mean,
Freeform and Hulu stars Cloak and Dagger.
That's right. I watched the whole series, and I think I talked about it with Mark. Yeah, Cloak allows you to move when you want, or I should say, Cloak allows you to move who you want. So you lay Cloak down there. First off, that's very representative of his power. He was known for transporting people. I think he did that in Civil War, if I remember right.
That was his whole reason for being in Civil War.
You're right. So
some of us are going through ideological struggles. Cloak, what are you here for? Plot device?
Let me drop you on top of these people. You lay him out there, and any card can move to that same location. And yeah, Dagger's power is she goes up 2 for each card that is at the location you move her to. I mean, it's great to kind of see her get powered up as she moves.
Now, of course, the ultimate partner for everybody with movement is the Vulture, but Cloak and Dagger, I mean, have always been together from the beginning. At least Cloak's codename makes sense apart from Dagger. I mean, I know they're light daggers, but, come on. Without Cloak, everybody's like, wait, okay, why is she called Dagger? And why does her neckline plunge below her navel?
Right.
They're a good thematic match. To me, not as effective as Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, but, two characters that are virtually inseparable in the comics. Their powers actually complement each other, unlike any member of the Fantastic Four.
Right. All right.
Tried to make Fantastic Four decks, and
it's tough. It is. It really is. I was looking at Inhumans too when I was trying to put this list together, and I was like, "Oh, okay, no, that doesn't fit. Nope, not good."
The Inhumans almost got on my list because of Crystal and Medusa both being triggered at the middle
center
location, and Quake's technically an Inhuman thanks to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right.
And then also put Lockjaw on there, but I don't know why. I guess with you put Lockjaw in the center. Then you put Medusa in the center. She powers up, goes back in your deck, and then you can get her back out and power her up again. So
one more time, right?
Yeah. So, but they didn't quite crack the list. My number 2. Don't think they've shared a title together because although each of them has somehow gotten their own title, perpetual supporting characters. Never been interested much to read a series about them, but Kazar and Shauna the She-Devil. Husband and wife, rulers of the Savage Land, and Kazar pops up in a lot of decks because he can boost your 1-cost cards, and Shauna adds 1-cost cards to your locations.
Yes, that is good. That is
good stuff. I have not played that, but I assume that it's pretty good. I haven't gotten Shauna.
Yeah, same.
Shauna, or however you say it. But now, is it? I can't remember. Does she add them to all locations, or just the 2 she's not at? Kind of like Squirrel Girl.
Add a random 1-cost card to each location. So yeah, it's where you lay. If it's where you put her down at too.
Yeah. So then they each get a boost if Kazar's already out there, or when you add him. And hey, last time I checked, Ebony Maw's a random 1-cost card. So I haven't put it into practice, but I imagine they would be a pretty effective duo and certainly work together in the comics.
I agree. Very good one. I didn't even think of that one. What's funny is why didn't I think of looking at cards I didn't have? That's what I didn't do. I was sitting there looking at all the cards I do have, and I was like, oh, shoot, I should have looked at the ones I didn't. Okay. All right. You ready for my number 1? I told you that my number 1 is something I feel like I can hang my hat on.
Okay.
All right.
See if it's the same as my number 1.
All right. So I am going with Onslaught and Iron Man. Is it the same?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not.
I wanted to
definitely a very effective duo, but I'd love to hear how you tie them together comic accurately.
Absolutely. All right, here you go. I'm sending you a panel right now.
I don't want to steal your thunder, but keep in mind the Iron Man in the Onslaught storyline was Teenage Tony.
Yeah, I had a feeling you were going to steal my thunder with that. So let's just say Teenage Tony variant. Which is not out there, but dang it,
he's under the mask. You can argue that that's Teenage Tony in there.
All right.
I mean, I'm not buying it, but you can argue that.
This is exactly what I'm sending you. All right, here's the panel from the book Onslaught Marvel Universe. Where Iron Man takes Doctor Doom and flies into the energy bubble, I guess is what we're going to say. Yeah. And then, I mean, I'll read it to you. Release me. What is the meaning of this? As he flies with Dr. Doom into the energy bubble. I don't expect you to know, Doom. It's a new idea to you. It's called sacrifice. All right. Now, let's tie it into Snap. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So Onslaught shows up. Here's where you and I can tell a story. We got a location that's happening. And Onslaught's he's a big deal. Okay? Iron Man is there as well. And Iron Man, with his noble sacrifice, pushes the other heroes forward in that location to do double their, well, not even double. What do they do? This is the
quadruple.
We don't know what the math is, but his sacrifice inspires the other heroes so much. That is why they fight that much harder at that location. And boom, that's why you're going to win. Iron Man Onslaught combo. Even though they are enemies, it's all about what actually happened when those two interacted. So there you go. What do you think?
I think it works until Krakoa messes it up for you. Jesse, I do have to apologize for stealing your thunder, especially when I'm about to bring so much thunder.
Oh goodness.
My number one comic accurate combo is Thor and Jane Foster.
Thor and Jane Foster.
First of all, they're both Thor. I mean, Jane Foster is subtitled The Mighty Thor. There has been some romance involved, but I think, didn't we do a source material on the Goddess of Thunder?
We did, as a matter of fact. Jason, was that Jason Aaron?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so how did that one start out? Thor did not have his hammer.
He did not.
Who got his hammer?
Oh my goodness! Listen to this. This is great. I love it.
Jane Foster.
That's right.
In the game. Now, I love playing Thor, and it shuffles Mjolnir in your deck. And if you can find Mjolnir, it'll boost Thor up by 6.
That's huge.
What's the way to guarantee you get Mjolnir?
Play Jane
Foster.
Right.
Who adds all 0 cost cards to your hand. And we were talking about she works great with Mr. Negative if you can get some of those 0 power cards swapped. But her number one role in decks where I use her is making sure Mjolnir gets into the game so that Thor delivers 10 power instead of just 4.
Ah, it's great. I like it, man. That's a great number one. Great number one. And again, it's another character that I freaking forgot.
Yeah. And the other one that I left off, I had Kraven and Vulture on there because they do work well together, but like neither one really activates the other one. They just, if I put them in decks a lot together, and if somebody else can move Vulture to Kraven's spot, then Vulture gets a boost and Kraven gets a boost. But they still have to have somebody else there, and it would be nice if it was any other member of the Sinister Six, but it's not. It's Iron Fist or Cloak.
Right.
And I mean, I'm just laughing about that. Like I said in an earlier episode, I love the weird combinations and stuff, and it's a extremely fun game. But every once in a while, I'm like, why is Iron Fist and Vulture the best partner?
Yeah, they're these
or Iron
weird,
Fist multiple man.
Yeah, we are definitely doing the top 5. It's got to be a list at some point. Inaccurate. Combos, because they're comic inaccurate combos. There is some weirdness out there that happens, that's for sure. Man, we did it. We did our top 5. We got them all out there. Let's see what the next season brings us, what kind of fun interactions we're going to be having, and we'll be back here next month on Snap Material. In the meantime, though, you can go check out some other stuff that Evan and I have been involved in, specifically Unspoken Issues, where we talk 90s comics. Me, Chris Armstrong, and Evan Bevins. We will have a future episode on our discussion
Ultraverse launch titles.
That's right. And then we talked Exiles as well.
Yeah.
Ultraverse Exile. So keep an eye out for that. All right. So that's it. That's all for me. Evan Bevins, tell them where they can find you, especially on your Asterisk 51.
Asterisk51.blogspot.com. Working my way through Just Imagine Stan Lee creating the DC universe, and working on, got a few other things in the pipeline for that. A lot of stuff about comics, sometimes about movies, every once in a while about football. So you never quite know what you're going to get there. And then I'm also over at Magazines and Monsters. We're getting ready to do do coverage of the Thor the Eternals saga, where we've got the marathon intro episode with everything that happened in Thor and the Eternals leading up to that, and then we'll get to see the Eternals introduced to the Marvel Universe proper, and Thor try to save the world.
Oh, all right. Sounds exciting. All right. Well, with that being said, we are going to get out of here. We'll check you out next month on Snap Material when we get to discuss everything that happened this season and what lies ahead of us for the next season. So for Evan Bevins, I'm Jesse Starcher. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you very much. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Thanks for joining us. All of this would not be possible without W2Mnet.com, so make sure to seek them out for more podcasts. If you enjoyed what you heard today, please feel free to share, and we look forward to entertaining you again soon.